Yeah, I didn't know this. You brought this up to us last night. Gary Kubiak interviewed with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I knew he had talked to some teams. I didn't realize the Lions were one of those teams.
Yeah. And they hired Jim Caldwell. It might have been a year ago.
This is a couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
After he was fired from Houston.
Him, and he called it an educational experience. I assume all interviews are educational experience. Do you think that he would have been right for the Detroit job?
I don't blame him at all for looking at that job and wanting that job. I mean, at that point, the Lions looked like a team on the rise. They had Ndamukong Suh and Nick Fairley on the defensive line. They had Stafford. They had Calvin Johnson. They had Reggie Bush at the time.
Would you rather
I think Gary would have been a nice fit there.
Would you rather have that job or this one?
Oh, this one by far. You know, Detroit has a history of not being very successful. There's always some semblance of dysfunction with the Detroit Lions. There's a reason they've never been to the Super Bowl. It's an organizational thing. It's a systemic thing.
Well, let me take.
Where the Broncos,
okay, so yes, we would agree. Would you rather be in that division or this division?
I'd rather be in this division.
I'm going somewhere with that. So there's a guy who was in this division, coaching this team, that actually, whether it was, we will never know who actually was most responsible, whether John Fox wanted out or John Elway wanted him out. Is that a fair statement? Even a year later, almost a year later, we don't know. We think.
I think it started that John Elway wanted him out, and John Fox was reading the handwriting on the wall, and John Fox then decided it was time to skedaddle.
Would you agree with that?
I think it's pretty close, and I'm just coloring in shades of gray here. Is that I think John Fox knew that he had to make a serious playoff run last season, or else. And I think his response to that was, I'm not going to wait for the or else. I'm not going to wait to get pushed. I'm going to
put out feelers.
Put out feelers and find another job.
I think his agent called the Chicago Bears and said, if John Fox were willing to come there, would you take him? So I think it was probably 75% Elway and 25% Fox seeing that. And so as a result of that, that's why I bring up Kubiak. If you were a coach, would you rather coach in that division with the Green Bay Packers there all the time, or in this division where you have a chance to win it? It's not a hype. Is that a hypothetical question?
It doesn't matter. We can talk about it either way.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I think for whatever reason, whether the Lions thought another candidate was better than Gary Kubiak, or Kubiak thought that Detroit wasn't the right place for him, he's a far better coach having spent a year in Baltimore than if he had taken the Detroit.
Have we proven that? Have we actually seen that? I mean, through training camp and exhibition season and 2 games, have we seen an improved Gary Kubiak over what he was in Houston?
I think I think if you talk to people that saw how he coached in Houston and saw how he coached in this training camp, that he's re-emphasized teaching. So I think he's a better teacher. Is his offense any better? No, but some people blame the quarterback and some people blame the coach.
I don't think he can help but get better. I mean, he's further along in his career. He's a smart guy. He's got a pretty darn good roster. That alone will make him a better coach, I think. So I would have to assume. Yeah, you know, it's been a small sample size.
I haven't seen that. Well, it's been through the offseason and the beginning, and how has he handled the Peyton Manning situation? How has he handled the offense? Gary Kubiak, as far as I know, has nothing to do with the defense. Is Wade Phillips better than he ever was? No. I think Wade Phillips is the same coach he's always been, based on the talent he has around him. Is Gary Kubiak better? I would disagree with you. I don't think he's any better. Based on what I've seen right today, not waiting to see, Gary Kubiak's not any different than he's ever been.